Hi, everybody. In today's video, we are going to be talking about Amber's mommy speaking out again on Facebook. How exciting! I feel like a girl of 2021 again. And what is Hans Christian Pookie Reid, Amber Reid, up to? Because there's rumors that she is currently in Wisconsin with Tommy. If only I cared. But we will discuss this rumor, and I think she's doing something on top of that. So we're going to get into all the drama. If you could not tell already, everything I'm saying just for entertainment purposes only. Please don't take anything I say seriously because I'm sharing my own opinions, not facts on publicly accessible information, first made public by public figures. Please don't go to these people's channels and leave mean-spirited, negative, discouraging, disparaging comments. Entertainment purposes only. Okay, so as always, Amber's mommy's Facebook is on public. She chooses to make it public. She is very well aware, in my opinion, how to make it friends only. It is very obvious that she wants, in my opinion, for everybody to see this. This is publicly available to anyone out there that wants to see her Facebook. And I would like to give a big shout out to Hans Christian Pookie Reid, Amber Reid, for actually going ahead and letting everybody know mommy's name. We get into what Amber's mommy said. I just want to show you something. Amber's mommy is a digital creator on Facebook. You may be thinking, what's a digital creator on Facebook? A digital creator on Facebook is an individual who consistently produces and shares original content, like videos, photos, and posts, to build an audience and engage with a community on the platform. To build an audience and engage with community on the platform, they use professional tools to grow their presence, connect with followers, and may monetize their work through brand partnerships. Good luck. So she has 1,000 followers. Just so y'all know, you cannot just magically, by magic, love it when magic gets involved. You cannot just become a digital creator because you're thinking about it. You have to actually, do it. You have to, click that you want to be one, right? Why am I bringing this up? She wants to be public with her post and she wants to engage with an audience. That is what she told Facebook when she chose to be a digital creator. And basically what I'm trying to get at is anybody that wants to see mommy on Facebook can. This is all publicly available. So mommy posted this. It's always the people that you helped the most that will go out of their way to tell people that you are a bad person. So here's the thing. I'm going to get this out of the way. I understand people can say in the comments or they could believe that this is not about the Tammy situation. I think it is. My opinion, not a fact, is that it is. It can be about anything, but I find it highly suspicious. And I'm going to tell you something. I've said this before. I definitely do not believe in coincidences. I just think it's not a coincidence that she is saying this when all of this is going on. Tammy's suing. Tammy's going to file. Tammy's not going to file. There's a big drama, which has made Amber run off of YouTube. What do you think she's doing? I don't care. So basically, I think this is about the Tammy situation. And isn't it amazing for Amber's mommy to have such a wonderful Facebook presence? I want to talk about, it's always the people that you help the most that will go out of their way to tell people that you're a bad person. So if this is about her and Tammy, so I don't see how you help Tammy at all. Tammy has done everything for you. The amazing part, for me at least, is knowing that Tammy told us that when Christine did not have a home, Tammy went around looking for her, searching for her so she could bring her to her house. Tammy told us how there was situations where she continuously tried to help her sister, Christine. And now Tammy is a bad person? How so? Another thing is, ultimately, Tammy even said, you know what? When Christine, Amber's mommy, was having problems, Tammy was like, you know what? Let her live in grandma's house and she can pay me maybe $200 for a certain amount of time. She was willing to do anything for Christine. So my opinion is, no, this isn't by magic that all of a sudden Amber's mommy started talking to us about, just random statements. No, I think this is about the situation. I think that Amber's mom is mad at the wrong person, the person that started this entire situation, and the person that is to blame for this entire scenario with your sister is your daughter, Amber. She started it years ago, and she has perpetuated negativity, and that's why you and your sister are in this situation now. It's not that I think that somebody here, except for Amber, is a bad person or a good person. I think that Christine has turned her life around, and that's fantastic. That being said, the drama that you have with your sister wouldn't, in my personal opinion, be as bad as it is right now if your daughter hadn't moved down to Oklahoma and if you hadn't become her caretaker.
Her relationship with her and my mom, never called and texted her to check on her, wouldn't answer my mom's text over and over and over again, phone calls. My mom would talk to my sister about it. It was a big, major ordeal.
Guess what? This next part is really important. 9 years ago, Amber Reid makes a video titled "My Aunt Left Me Because of Something," and it was a lie. It wasn't true. Amber posts a video 9 years ago that opens the gate. What do I mean by that? All the people that are always coming and saying that Tammy is wrong for exposing Amber, that, well, this next part Amber tries to perpetuate, but if you want to look at facts, it's not true. Amber constantly perpetuates the idea that her aunt came out of nowhere and, she did this out of nowhere. She decides to, expose me when Tommy was exposing me because, she wanted to pretty much make it worse for me. Okay. The facts are it wasn't out of nowhere. The person that started this whole drama was not Tammy, it was Amber. 9 years ago, Amber makes a video that's a lie about Tammy. Okay? Tammy goes in response and writes things on Kiwi Farms, which at that point, that was pretty much the only way to get your point out, because at that point, 9 years ago, there wasn't a lot of reaction channels, right, that you could talk to. Maybe there was a few, but people really didn't even do that to that point, right? Okay. Amber lies about Tammy in a public YouTube video that at this point has 95,000 views. Tammy retaliates and responds on Kiwi Farms. And in my opinion, Tammy, obviously, this is just my opinion, remembers that and feels that that was wrong. She feels wrong. And when somebody wrongs you, you always, maybe you could put it in the back of your head or whatever, but you always remember it, right? Some people can just hold on to things, and I don't blame Tammy for doing so. So now comes a time where Tammy sees that Amber versus Tommy, her ex or current girlfriend, whatever, and decides to, this is my moment, and decides to talk about Amber. Even if you think that's wrong, never forget that the person who started it is her. It's this person. Amber, you started the whole thing by lying about Tammy. Okay, at what point did somebody force Amber to make a video about her aunt? Nobody did that. You did that, Pookie. You did that. You chose to make this video in which you started the drama. Just like with Amber's family, Amber chose to make videos about her parents, right? The fact that her mommy is a yes man now is completely irrelevant to me. But the point is, the situation with her Aunt Tammy should have taught her 9 years ago that when you start trashing your family members and making up lies about them, they will retaliate. So remember, Amber did this video first and started the drama first. The reason I brought it up is to say Christine is making statements that, in my opinion, are about Tammy, okay? But the person that started the drama with Tammy is your daughter, which is why I went through the trouble of showing you that. So you can say, for example, oh, Tammy, I was there for her, but she's going around saying things about me being a certain type of person. But this entire online drama has been started by Amberlynn Reid, Hans Christian Pookie Reid. Pookie Lynn Reid, however you want to, whatever you want to say. Amber's the one that started it and Tammy finished it. Yes, your sister doesn't have to be on your side, and she doesn't have to be on the side of her niece who embarrassed and lied about her on the internet in exchange for money. We all know that Tammy did not stop talking to Amber because of any superficial reason. Please, that doesn't even make any sense, okay? At the end of the day, your daughter, Christine's continuous lying on the internet is why you're in this situation with Tammy. Tammy would have not gone out of her way to go ahead and sue Amber if Amber didn't lie about her. Tammy would have not had to go and just think about it. Who goes really and, exposes their family on the internet if the family doesn't start first? Always remember that Amber opened the Kermit's box. Okay, that's all I gotta say. And everything has, like, look, things don't happen in a vacuum. Everything has a beginning, a middle, and a Kermit. And in this situation, I'm very sorry to tell you, Christine, the reason that, like, this drama has exacerbated with your sister is because of your daughter. And that's why I went to the trouble to talk about what Amber did originally. So, Christine, in my opinion, is trying to convey a statement about Tammy. I don't think you were there for Tammy based on what Tammy has said. I don't see with your own timeline how you were able to be there for Tammy and, you were able to do things for Tammy when you were in your own negative situation trying to help yourself. And I get it that you're upset about the house, but based on everything that Tammy told us, it really does seem that the house situation is more so a situation between you and your mother instead of you and your sister. And it's amazing that your daughter comes out totally innocent in this, because I can assure you she's not. Another issue that this statement brings up is something we have not discussed, which is as far as Christine, Amber's mommy, speaking out, right? Okay. So Amber trashed mommy for 10 years plus, right? Okay, I understand that Amber's mom wasn't there for her. I totally understand Amber had a difficult childhood. That's fine. So Amber trashes mommy for 10 years. Says mommy's a, bad person, whatever she said about her, because you said so many different bad things about your parents. I don't even know where it begins and where it ends. And now you're saying mommy is the best possible person, in my opinion, because mommy takes you around everywhere. Like, she is your whole world, because without her, you can't get anywhere you need to go. So here's my question to mommy. What about what Amber has said about you, even if it was rightfully so, how she by magic, I love it when magic gets involved, get your own channel magic, how magically now Amber feels that mommy is her number one bestie and best friend ever, only because now she needs mommy and mommy has a driver's license. So Tammy said, I believe, from what I remember, in one of Jordy's live streams, that Christine only recently got her driver's license. Like, really recently. Like, pretty much, like, I think, like, somewhere before Amber got there. What is my point in bringing that up? Why do you think Tammy said that? It's because it sounds like to me, and this is just my opinion, not a fact, but I'm 100 on it. I think that it's not a big coincidence, as I told you, don't believe in them, that Christine got her license right before Amber moved there. Of course, because Amber was desperate for somebody to drive her around. And think about it. Mommy couldn't even do it yet, because she didn't have the car, didn't have the license, and she had to get it so late in life to satisfy Amber being driven around. That to me is wild. I'll only move down there and have a great relationship with you if you get a driver's license, because Tammy did talk about how, the car and everything is new for Amber's mommy. If driving was so important for Amber's mommy before Amber moved down there, then she would have clearly done it before. It is very suspicious that everything was done right before Amberlynn Reid moved there. And Amber does talk about, Amber's mommy's new car in one of the videos. So honestly, Amber, it is wild to me that you think that your mom is going to help you for the rest of your life. That is wild to me. Whole thing about how Amber was like, well, I can't see my aunt unless my mommy is there, right? I want to bring attention to something else. Just remember that. I was watching Oh Lordy, It's Kermie, Oh Lordy, It's Jordy's live stream the other day. And the part that I had seen, he had mentioned something that I thought was really important. And it correlates to this situation type nightmare.
Well, never forget that the night that I had Erica and Brittany on here and Amberlynn was demanding to be on my live stream, she also had the condition that if she were to come on my live stream, it would have been with Alexis or not at all. That's what she said to me in the messages. Either Alexis comes or I don't come at all. And I told her, okay, like, this is my stream. I'm not playing by your rules.
Okay, so obviously the reason that Amber needed Alexis to come with her on Jordy's stream is because she is not confident in her lies. You ever wonder why Amber is so uncomfortable live streaming? The answer is in the law. So Amber is uncomfortable going live because the real her is present, as opposed to when she creates a character that isn't real in her recorded YouTube videos, right? Said this before. When you watch Amber's videos, she seems like just like, like a nice girl, like struggling, whatever, not a big deal. But live, she can't hide who she really is. So of course she needed Alexis to come on the actual stream because she didn't feel comfortable doing anything by herself. Amber, this is my advice to you, because of course you don't watch reaction channels and you're taking a break for your, I don't know, Kermit's health or whatever. So you obviously won't hear this. Amber, the biggest advice that I can give you, or to anybody else, is, unfortunately, this is going to be hard to hear for whole bunch of people. Try to do things by yourself. Once you can be alone with yourself and enjoy your own company, and once you can do things for yourself, I mean, depending on your situation, obviously some people are in bad situations and cannot do things by themselves, but there's no reason that Amber can't do for herself, okay? When you learn how to do things by yourself, then being with somebody else is a gift. Follow me for more useless advice. The point of the story is, okay, I understand that Amber wanted, Alexis to be there so she feels more confident because, she's BSing everything. But if you take a look, this is how she leads her life. For example, like I started telling you, Amber said that she's not going to be with Tammy without her mommy being there. Amber said she's not going to go on Jordy's live stream without Alexis being there. What are you going to do when you can't bring a buddy along for the ride? And by the way, one more point, and I know this is obvious and we briefly did discuss it. Nowadays, Alexis and Amber are friendly again. Alexis is texting her, I thought you both blocked each other. Yeah, somebody lied. Oh my God. Okay, Alexis being friends with Amber, in my opinion, is bad for Alexis. And Amber being friends with Alexis is, I mean, can you even say worse? Amber, what kind of a situation type nightmare is your life that you would take back a person that exposed you on the internet? Alexis made a bunch of videos on the internet exposing Amber. Just because you deleted it doesn't make it go away. So you two are friends again after y'all said a whole bunch of stuff about each other. Make it make sense. That's how desperate Amber is, okay? Amber, you are so desperate that you would be friends again and texting again and in communication again with a person that exposed you on the internet. What does that say? Anyways, my point is, Amber can't do anything by herself because she doesn't trust her own lies. Think about that for a second. That's why she can't go on Jordy's live stream without Alexis. That's why why can't she be around Tammy? Now think about this. Why couldn't she be around Tammy without her mommy there? Because she knows that Tammy has not only exposed her before. And think about it. This whole situation, I can't be with Tammy without mommy there, was before Tammy exposed her again, right? So she already knew Tammy exposed her, and she knows that Tammy sees through her lies. She has no reason to be a yes man like mommy over there. So Amber, I don't know what you're going to do when people around you can't hold your hand anymore. Learn how to do things for yourself now. And by the way, I'm sure that Amber's response would be, I do everything for myself. I'm alone 24/7 except once a week at bingo. I do. Amber, just because you pay the bills by yourself doesn't mean that you do things for yourself. You need to ask yourself, if I'm alone in a situation, I have an emergency, can I get an Uber? Do I have a contract with a car service company that will send a driver over? Sweetheart, what are you going to do when no one can help you, when mommy's not there? Okay, so now let's talk about something that I find rather interesting. So there's a theory going around that right now Hans Christian Pookie Reed is in Wisconsin with Tommy, and that could be possible. We're going to talk about it. But also, is she pre-filming for Vlogmas? I haven't seen people say that a lot. That's my opinion. I think whether she's with Tommy or not, I believe that she is definitely pre-filming for Vlogmas, or at least for October. Let me put it to you this way. I think that the worst possible thing for her is to show herself for who she really is, which is why I mentioned her live streams, her live streams. So pre-recording content that she pre-records now and posts, I'm not saying, listen, let's just be serious. I'm not saying that she's pre-recording her entire Vlogmas because, those are the videos in December. Obviously not. I'm not saying she's going to pre-record 30 videos. Obviously not. But do I think that she's going to film some videos and has already filmed some videos in September that she's going to post in December and no one will even know that it wasn't filmed in December? 100%. How will anyone here know that she filmed the videos in September and posted them in December. How will anybody know? Especially what I think is going to happen. Now, listen, listen, listen. I think what's going to happen is that I think she's going to do these sit down videos, okay? I think that they're going to be videos where she's going to be answering her fake Q&As that she asked herself 700 times on Instagram, or she's just going to be talking about a topic, or she's going to talk about a reaction challenge, whatever. Insert whatever theme here. And then she's going to be talking about it. It's going to be a sit down video, and no one will know that she filmed a lot of these videos in September. Now, what will happen is she's going to mix it up if she does Vlogmas. She thinks she's the smartest girl in the room, and she believes that she's here's the thing. She always does this thing where she misleads people in a way where she thinks it's like a soft launch of misleading people. What do I mean by this? So there'll be some videos sprinkled into the Vlogmas videos that were filmed in September or October, right? And the rest of them, like some of them, she really will film them in real time if she does Vlogmas. But some of them, 100%, I'm 100 on what I'm saying. That's my opinion. You can let me know yours in the dislikes down below and in the comments. But I think she's definitely going to film some, not all at all, to make it more realistic. You understand? She's going to film some of them in September and, sprinkle them in with the actual Vlogmas videos that she's going to film in December. Far as whether or not she is in Wisconsin with Tommy, I wholeheartedly don't care. I don't care. These two are perfect for each other. I hope you are or you aren't. I really, honestly, like, obviously I have to give it some thought because I'm creating a video, so I need to think about this rumor right now. But other than that, I haven't been thinking about it because I don't think about Amberlynn when I'm not working on doing videos about her. Here's the bottom line, okay? She could be there. She could not be there. This does seem like a very interesting time to go there. Of course, she's not working. No one will ever know that you visited Tommy. Amber, honestly, if you went over there to visit Tommy after everything Tommy has done to you, after the choice words, the kind words of love that Tommy has expressed towards you, you deserve what you get. And we all know, let me put it to you this way. The fact that this woman continued talking to Tommy after Tommy said the things that Tommy said to her, if Tommy was just an acquaintance of mine and said something like that, an earshot of me, I would block Tommy and would never speak to her again. I wouldn't need her to be my girlfriend for me not to talk to her. What she has said is absolutely, absolutely wrong, no matter how much I just have disdain for Amber's behavior. I think what Tommy said to Amber, if she really liked Pookie Reid, I think it's wild. And so Amber already talked to her afterwards. Amber already stayed in the relationship afterwards. Amber even kind of took Tommy back after Tommy exposed Amber with Mr. Snowflake. So my opinion is, could she be there in Wisconsin for the whole month? Could she be pre-filming too? Yes. I don't care if she's there. Is it a very plausible theory? Yeah, you guys are right. It's very plausible. Maybe she's there. Maybe she's not there. I don't care. Amber, the best thing that could happen to you is stays in contact with Tommy forever and gets the type of treatment that she's been getting from Tommy forever. Because honestly, the way that you view the world, Amber, it's just wrong. You have to have self-respect for yourself, not just Amber, everybody else too. Have enough respect for yourself to say, does this serve my life? Like, how is this helping me? Like, the relationship between Tommy and Amber didn't help either of them, okay? What Amber did to Tommy, absolutely unacceptable. To corner her in, the lavatory. Absolutely unacceptable. If only the corner sink could talk. But the point of the story is, okay, ultimately, these two people should have never gotten into a relationship, and Amber should have never gone to Wisconsin. So if after losing Rarity, if you packed up Romeo, and if you packed up your dog, and you packed up your other cat, and you went there again so you could lose Romeo, then you deserve everything that you get. And by the way, would Amber again pack up her animals and again go there and be with Tommy? Of course she would, because there is so much desperation that desire doesn't even begin to peek through. It's just desperation for Hans Christian Pookie Reid. If you're looking for my opinion, I think she's pre-filming. Could the rumors be true about Hans Christian Pookie Reid that she's in Wisconsin? Sure. Or not. Who cares? Here's the thing. 90%, no, 95% of rumors, in my personal opinion, that happen towards Amber are true. And the last five, it's not that they're not true, it's that they need tweaking in what actually happened. Most of the stuff that the audience thinks is going on with Amber, they're not just getting this out of thin air. Yeah, I believe the majority of the rumors about Hans Christian Pookie Reid are true. Okay, so let's move on to her TikTok. If you guys don't know, this is Amber's TikTok, Rarity Cat. What a beautiful photo of you, Amber. I love Amber's TikTok. It's so exciting. I mean, I love the photos that she definitely chooses for her TikTok, but 6 days ago she reposted something. Now, why do I bring this up? I don't care that she wants to be on TikTok 24/7. It doesn't matter to me that she's on the internet. If you remember, she said that she was going to not be on Instagram. She was not going to be on social media. She was going to stay off of YouTube. She was leaving the internet, right? And she said she's not going to be on the social media apps. Now, it is common sense that, of course, most people knew that she was lying, and she did lie to you blatantly because, as you saw, she's reposting stuff on TikTok. My opinion is she sits on the internet 24/7. This is her whole life, what people are saying about her, what people are not saying about her. TikTok, Instagram, that's not my point. Of course, most people deduce that she was lying about leaving the internet for such a long time. Obviously, you're reposting 6 days ago. You're not staying off of the internet, like you said. Here's the thing. There's never any consequences for this woman's lies. I've been doing YouTube for a long time, for over a decade, and I have seen people get canceled over literally nothing, over liking a tweet, over not saying something, over saying something, over doing nothing. Like, I mean, literally, as Hans Christian Pookie Reid would say, overdoing nothing. And she is never in these situations because people expect the worst of her, but deeper than that. No matter who it is, people very often, very, very, very often got into trouble over much less than everything that she has done. I know that people expect nothing from her and she is a villain, but deeper than that, okay? Deeper than her being a villain. So she has no consequences to anything she does, which is why she continues to participate in negative behavior. Case in point, I've already talked about this, so I'm not going to rehash it, but throughout Amber's disappearance this month, there have been terrible things that have been happening to certain channels. I believe if it's not her doing it, she's in communication with somebody who's doing it. So this is, again, something that happens almost every single time she leaves. Almost every single time she leaves, there's drama with reaction channels where reaction channels are suffering because of her. And I'm going to leave you with the same thing that I tell you all the time. This will have absolutely zero effect on anybody in the community. Stop using her content. This will never happen. I can just give you my advice. Like, if, it's okay not to use her content in your videos. It's okay to just talk about what you know and what you believe and what you think about any YouTuber without using their content. When you use people's content, you give them control. You give it over to them. Unfortunately, people can't just say, you know what? People have opinions about me. I'm not going to be malicious to their channel. They can't, Amber can't do that. Whenever she leaves YouTube, when I say leaves, I mean, I say that facetiously. Of course, she doesn't actually leave. What she does is she stops work. She stops going live to the live streams. And she just sits there and watches what people say about her without actually working. And goes on social media without actually working and tries to take down reaction channels. Narcissists are afraid of the most. Like, I promise you this, if you don't believe anything I say, believe this. They are afraid of not being in control because their whole world is turned upside down. They love being in control. They love knowing, like she always says, I employ so many people. I am paying the rent of so many people. You're not, but you can continue to think that. You know why she says that? People have been talking about me for over a decade. I would never say that. And it doesn't matter if people are making videos or not, because if somebody was making videos about me, I would never go online and be like, I'm employing them, because I'm not bothered like that. She, of course, how dare anyone accuse Hans Christian Pookie Reid of being a narcissist? She's just waiting for you to use her content so she can use it against you. And I know that this is never going, I know this is never, ever, 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 ever going to affect anybody in the community. People are going to continue to use your content. But the best way to win is not to play. And I've said this numerous times, okay? The best decision is not to play. And the best thing in any very difficult dilemma that you're dealing with in life, it doesn't have to be Amberlynn Reid content, any difficult decision, always make the decision that no one saw coming. Because that decision will be the most outrageous decision you can ever make. And the best way to win is not to play. Amber has a pattern. She leaves YouTube and in secret, or she believes in secret, goes after reaction channels and sends them strikes and sends them this and sends them that, then pretends it's from another person, or she tells somebody to do it. The best thing to do is not to allow her to have any control. When you don't use her content, she is left powerless, and there's very little things that she can do. The best thing to do with a narcissist is to not play their games and to leave them in silence. Silence is so much more better than interacting with them. Anyways, thoughts, comments, dislikes, leave them in the comments down below. Thank you all so very much for watching today. I really appreciate it. Check out this other video that's popping up here on a similar topic. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.